No matter how you hope, no matter how you try, you can't make truth out of a lie. It was a lazy sort of day in Bear Country Railway. The air was so still that the leaves on the trees were hardly rustling. It was the sort of day that sometimes leads to mischief. Inside Bearmouth Sheds, brother and sister were sitting around not doing anything in particular. "I know what," said sister. "Let's go pull some troublesome trucks." Brother thought about that. "No," he said. "Naughty troublesome trucks make you come off the rails." "Well then," said sister, "let's go out and pull coaches on our branch line." Brother thought about that. "No," he said. "We did that yesterday." Sister became irritated and impatient with her brother. "My goodness," she complained. "You don't want to do anything. All you want to do is sit there and the shed." "I am not," protested brother. "But I'll tell you something. I bet I can race you to the shunting yard." Brother was a very fast engine and very cheeky. But so was sister. The only one who saw what happened next, besides the cheeky tank engines, was Horace, who was resting in a siding. Brother faced sister. They were racing at high speed. First brother ran down in front, then he backed down on the sidings, trying to trick sister out of position. Then, quick as a flash, he gave the trucks a great big bump. It almost worked, but sister raced up behind him. She switched tracks and blocked brother. At last, they could see the shunting yard up ahead. Brother was going so fast, he didn't look where he was going. Brother hit the coach with a loud crash. Horace let out a big whoosh of steam and got out of there as fast as his wheels could carry him. As he popped away to get his express coaches, he saw Mr. Honeycomb, who had just heard the noise. Now, Mr. Honeycomb's railway had some rules and regulations just as any railway has. One was, not to be moved from sheds. Another was, safety always comes first. And another was, no racing at dangerous speeds. What to do? Brother looked at sister. Sister looked at brother. They both looked at the derailed coach. They both listened in horror as Mr. Honeycomb came to see what was going on. "What happened in here?" asked Mr. Honeycomb, looking into the tank engine's eyes. "Tell me about it." The tank engines looked into Mr. Honeycomb's eyes, then at each other, and then they began to tell one of the biggest whoppers that has ever been told in Bear Country Railway. "It was another engine," began brother. "Yes," added sister. "A big purple engine with yellow wheels." "And green stripes," added brother. "And funny-looking red steam pipes," said sister as a finishing touch. As most lies do, the purple engine whopper got bigger and bigger and bigger. "Yes," continued the tank engines. "And it was going so fast, he crashed into the coach." As Mr. Honeycomb was looking at the derailed coach with a sad expression on his face, Honey came into the yard. The tank engines began to tell her his story of the big engine that crashed into the coach. It was harder to tell the second time. For one thing, they couldn't quite remember how they had told it the first time. "You've got me confused," said Honey. "Was it a purple engine with green stripes and yellow wheels? Or a yellow engine with purple lining and green wheels? Or was it a red engine with orange lining and blue wheels, like you, brother?" But the thing that really made it hard the second time was how very cross Mr. Honeycomb looked as he turned round at the two tank engines. "Sir, we're really sorry about the coach," said brother. "Oh, yes," said sister, derailing the coach back onto the tracks. "Oh, I am very disappointed in you too. Trust is not something you can put back together again." Both tank engines started to talk at once. "It wasn't an engine," said sister. "It was brother. And it was all my fault," shouted brother. "It was just as much my fault," shouted sister. But they were both shouted down by the time they left the yards. Before they left, Mr. Honeycomb came back to the shunting yard. "Sir," protested Sister, "you told the railway manager that everything is fine at the shunting yards, and that isn't really the truth." "Oh, but it is," answered Mr. Honeycomb. "We've got two fine tank engines who have just learned a very important lesson about telling the truth. And what could be finer than that?" Nobody really expects engines to be perfect, and from time to time, Brother and Sister did forget the rules. Brother moved from the shed when he wasn't allowed to a couple of times. One time Sister challenged Brother to race. And once or twice, Brother and Sister started the race along the shunting yard before they remembered not to. But they never, ever again told a whopper, because trust is one thing you can't put back together once it's broken.